Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It was done using Loren Sherman script, which uses a combination of dots and lines on these 4 different stems to make our consonants. And vowels are trickier. They're these smaller circles, and they have different positions depending upon what vowel they are, and if they're attached to one of these 4 consonant stems. So this is like the line of the word circle, and if the vowel's on the word circle, and A is outside of it, where an E, I, and U are all on the line of the word circle, and an O is inside the word circle. And this is a rough estimate of like what the consonant circle stem is. But this is a better diagram that shows all possible combinations of vowel and consonant teams. So if we look at this as a word, this is our word circle, and we read bottom counterclockwise. So this is an E by itself on the line of the word circle, so this line. And then we have a deep divot, or a B, because it's got no modifiers, with an E on it. And then we have a circle inside the word circle here. So this is a J with an E in it, and then a T, E, and a THE, because this is the T stem and the TH. So a shallow divot and a circle on the line of the word circle. So yeah, those are our 4 stems with our vowels in them, and then that's the same for the rest of these. So this is like A, B, A, J, A, T, A, T, H, A, and then O, B, O, J, O, T, O, T, H, O. So let's get to our actual design here, which obviously has a bit more going on than just the simple key. So if we look at our circle, the outer circles here are sentence circle, and we read our words bottom counterclockwise inside a sentence circle. So this is our first word, second word, third word, and then we read this the words bottom counterclockwise as well, just like these. So here's the bottom of our first word, and this is the first letter we hit. And it's a shallow divot, so we're in this row. And these lines, they can curve, they can be straight. What matters is if they end on that stem. So this thick line and this thick line both end on this shallow divot. So that makes 2 lines end on that, so that's a W. Continuing around, here's a little circle outside the word circle, so that would be an A, like that. And then we have this shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 lines, so just like this one with an extra line. So that would be an S, and then we have this deep divot, so this stem, with these 2 thin lines here, and these lines that pass through it do not count. So this passes through and this passes through, so it doesn't count, but this does count because they end here and here. So that would be an H. So wash, and then we have this word. Here's the bottom of the word circle, and even though this is kind of lower than this, it doesn't cross that bottom middle, so we don't read it first. We only read something first if it's at the bottom and crosses the middle. So that's why this is the bottom here, even though it's centered a little bit off to the side. But this is the first letter we read here instead of this. This is really pushing it as far as how close it is legible. So it looks like this could be the first word, but the bottom of it is just right here. And this is our actual first letter. So anyway, here we have our first letter, and it is a circle on the line of the word circle. And there are 1, 2 dots closest to it. And this third dot is closer to this stem than to this stem, so it goes here and it doesn't go here. So just 2 dots on that makes it a Y. And then there's an O on it, like a bead on a string. So like that. And I erased the lines in the middle of the vowels because they kind of muddy up the design, I think. And they help the vowels kind of stand out as circles that aren't filled in, whereas the dots, these dots are all filled in. So if that line were passing through, it would be hard to tell on the stamp if it was filled in or not. So I got rid of the line behind it. So anyway, Y-O, continuing around here, we have a U because it's got a line going outwards. So line going outwards. And then we have this shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 dots, making it an R. So your. And then we have this last word, bottom of the word circle. Like I said before, this does cross the middle, so this would be read first. And it has 2 lines ending on it, so that's another H, just like this H. And then we have an A outside the word circle. And even though this A is lower than the H, because it's attached to this H, you read it afterwards. So anytime a vowel is attached to a consonant, so like this Y-O, you read the consonant first and then the vowel. So read this consonant first and then the vowel. So H-A. Continuing around here, we have the circle inside the word circle. So like this, and I do have it touching this line here because I didn't want to leave a teeny tiny gap. I'd rather just have them touch so that way it wouldn't like fail to cut or something when you're doing the stamp and the soap. So I just made them touch, which it works. As long as it doesn't look like these are lines on this stem, we're fine. But it would be fully inside in the typical way you would do these. So I got rid of this little gap and made it actually touch here. So it does kind of push, looking like a deep divot stem, but the lines of the word circles are thick enough that you can tell that there's still a line here. Anyway, I'm rambling. So this has one line ending on it, this thick one right here. So N. Continuing on here, we have another deep divot with 1, 2, 3 dots. So that's a D. And all these lines pass through it, so they don't count. And then we have an S, because 1, 2, 3 lines, just like this S. So hands. And if, so in your order, you said wash your hands was your request with Y-O-U-R, but then when you messaged me, you said our, like O-U-R. If you want it as our instead of your, that's a really easy fix, because all I do is get rid of this Y. I'll keep the O there, these 2 dots with the Y, and then I'll make this little sentence divot bigger. These 4 sentence divots are totally optional. They just kind of fill up the design and make it feel a little more balanced, I think, anyway. So anyway, these are all kind of optional, but they help fill up the space. And if it was our instead of your, all I have to do is get rid of this Y and the dots with it, and I'll just make this a little bigger to fill up the space. So yeah, it's a pretty easy switch. So yeah, that's this design. I hope you like it, and I hope it works well for you. And this is what it should look like on the soap, so the stamp will be changed around a bit to be like that negative image, that reversed mirror image that you actually stamp into it. But this should be what shows up on the soap, if it's to be read. So yeah, that's that, and I hope this makes a bit of sense. Thank you, bye.